Look, we're live.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, I am Yolanda, co-founder of Harper Therapy. It's been a hot minute since I've done a live, so I'm like, whoa.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Hi,
I
everyone.
am here with Alina Klein, and we are going to talk today about, enemy number one when it comes to recovery.
And healing from addiction.
Healing from addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And healing from our loved ones' experiences of addiction, right?
Yes.
Ooh, so shame is one of those things that no one likes to talk about.
Right. Shame is one of the single most, what am I even saying? It's one of the biggest contributors to ongoing addiction and the disease.
Right. So shame is that experience of not enoughness, of if you're a family member who has a loved one in the throes of addiction, it's like, what's wrong with me that I can't
fix this?
How
did I contribute to this? What did I do to make this happen?
I'm a bad person.
Yeah. It's really owning negative circumstances, negative external circumstances. It's owning, taking ownership over it.
Well, and it is the thought of I am inherently a bad person, right? So the difference between guilt and shame is guilt is a focus on behavior. I've done something out of alignment with my values and integrity. Shame is I am a bad person.
Exactly.
And we're a bad family because we have this thing happening and our loved ones, that whole, and it just it infiltrates and I get I'm feeling it just talking about it. It's like a full contact experience.
Yeah, and sometimes, many times when we start feeling shame, we talk about this thing called a shame spiral. So it's one thing compounds the other. It's we do something happens, we're not proud of it, and then it's oh, but look at this, and look at this, and look at this. Our brain just kind of comes up with all this data of everything that we've done wrong or hasn't worked out, so it just kind of compounds it.
Right. Your brain is see, this is why you're not a good person. And this is why, yeah. So the thing about shame and addiction is that they go hand in hand. It is not only a spiral, it's like a prison.
Right.
And what we know is that shame thrives in secrecy, silence, and judgment. And isn't that the definition of addiction and walking along this path with our loved ones?
Yeah.
Secrecy, we've got, no one can know.
If anyone knew about this, they would judge us. Right. They would think that we're a bad family. Right. There's just so much stigma even today around addiction, and being part of this family disease of addiction.
Yeah. And so we turn inward, and then that ends up, we isolate, right? We isolate, we turn inward.
Right.
And then we judge ourselves.
Right.
That shame,
that compounding, right? Just not only are we feeling that shame and we feel we're different, but then we have that self-judgment over the fact that we feel different.
So what is the opposite of addiction? Connection.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And what is a way to beat shame?
To be vulnerable.
Yeah. And to look, Alina gets an A+ today.
Yes.
Yeah. And the opposite of shame is to share your stories of shame in a safe space.
Right.
And this is one of the reasons that we are so passionate, and I am really so proud that we are offering this group for family members, right? So that you don't have to swim around in the shame by yourself.
Yes.
Anymore.
There's so much power in a group process. A lot of people come in and they say, why would I want to be part of a group? I don't want to share my business with other people. I want to share it one-on-one with a trusted therapist who is a professional. And, in my experience working with people who are in active addiction or in early recovery from active addiction, it is magical what a group can do together. The bonds that are formed and the healing that happens in a group process. And, I think it's the exact same thing for loved ones, for people who are walking alongside their family members or their spouses or their loved ones who are dealing with addiction. Because you experience many of the same emotions and feelings that someone in early recovery is feeling.
Yeah. And so The group offers skills and tools of how to recognize when you're in that shame spiral,
Mm-hmm.
teaching tips for how to get up out of that. And then the group dynamic is so powerful, like you said, to break through those experiences of shame, because a big message of shame is like, you're all alone in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. And this piece too of like, I don't want to share my loved one's story. I don't want to put their business out in the world. And the truth is like in a confidential group, you're sharing with people who are in the same boat and who
Mhm.
are going through the same things. And we keep it in the container
Mhm.
of this group process,
Mhm. Yeah, those standards and expectations of confidentiality remain for the group members too. We create that safe space for
Right.
people to come.
Right. And, when we do this, we practice this with the group, you learn how to do that outside of the group. And that's one of the most beneficial parts of the
It's really
process is
powerful.
having that transferable skill. Like, how can I tell if people are safe to share my story with? How can I tell if this is, an appropriate place to become vulnerable? And that's part of what we learn in the process as well.
So if you are recognizing how shame has a grip on you as you are walking through this process of, or this situation of being a loved one of someone who is in addiction, and you're ready to break those chains and break out of that shame spiral
Right.
jail cell, check out our group. We are registering now for our virtual group that will start in April, and have some connection.
Yeah, we're here for you, and we want to create a space where others can be here for you, and you can be here for them. It's going to be a great experience. So hope you can join us starting in April, and hope to see you there.
All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us today. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.